Well, good morning. Happy Thanksgiving. I hope you are, wherever you are today, if you're watching this or podcasting this, that you are getting ready to eat with family and friends, that you're able to spend good time with family and friends today, that you're able to just be in the presence of those who you love. I always think of, some of you may remember the old Southern humorist Louis Grizzard. I always loved Lewis's writings. I tell people one of the highlights of my childhood was waiting for the Enterprise Journal newspaper to come. And my dad would, me and my dad would wait for it as it came. And when it came, I'd run up the road and run up the driveway and get it out of the paper box. And we would always read the paper together. He would read the news first, and I'd read the sports. Then we'd swap. We used to always love to read Louis Grizzard. He's a Southern humorist, just talked about life in the South and these things. And my dad liked reading him, and I liked reading him. So my dad kind of turned me on to his books, and I always enjoyed his books. And he tells the story. He lived a hard life, newspaper writer, sports guy, divorced a bunch of times, as he tell you. Uh, and he told the story one year about winding up at some rundown bar, some little town in Georgia. On Thanksgiving, and felt all alone, felt like there was nobody there for him. And he just walked in on this place of these bunch of outcasts, and somebody came in and made him a Thanksgiving lunch. And there in this little dive bar there outside in Georgia, he found a family and found a place on that Thanksgiving day. So my prayer for you is that you're with family today, that you've got your people who love you. But if you don't have that family, I want you to hear this, friends. Know that you are loved. There's folk out there who love you. There's a God out there who loves you. You may feel alone, forgotten, forsaken. Somebody who loves you. And I would, listen, if you're looking for a community, I'd love to invite you to worship with us at St. Matthew sometimes. And I think you'd find you'd be loved here. So today, no matter where you are, I hope you know that you're loved. I hope you know that you're valued and that you have much to be thankful for today. So today we're going to read this psalm is going to be like a little bit like another one we read earlier this week, but only more so. We're going to read Psalm 136 today. Oh, give thanks to the Lord, for he is good. And this, by the way, is entitled God's Work in Creation and History. Oh, give thanks to the Lord, for he is good, and his steadfast love endures forever. Oh, give thanks to the God of gods, for his steadfast love endures forever. Oh, give thanks to the Lord of lords, for his steadfast love endures forever. Who alone does great wonders, for his steadfast love endures forever. Who by understanding made the heavens, for his steadfast love endures forever. Who spread out the earth and the waters, for his steadfast love endures forever. Who made the great lights, for his steadfast love endures forever. The sun to rule over the day, for his steadfast love endures forever. The moon and stars to rule over the night, for his steadfast love endures forever. Who struck Egypt to their firstborn, for his steadfast love endures forever. Who brought Israel out among them, for his steadfast love endures forever. With a strong hand and outstretched arm, for his steadfast love endures forever. Who divided the Red Sea in two, for his steadfast love endures forever. Who made Israel pass through the midst of it, for his steadfast love endures forever. Who overthrew Pharaoh and his army in the Red Sea, for his steadfast love endures forever. Who led the people through the wilderness, for his steadfast love endures forever. Who struck down great kings, for his steadfast love endures forever. Who killed famous kings, for his steadfast love endures forever. Shion, the king of the Amorites, for his steadfast love endures forever. And Og, the king of Bashan, for his steadfast love endures forever. And gave their land as a heritage, for his steadfast love endures forever. A heritage to his servant Israel, for his steadfast love endures forever. He who remembered us in our low estate, for his steadfast love endures forever. And rescued us from our foes, for his steadfast love endures forever. Who gives food to all flesh, for his steadfast love endures forever. Oh, give thanks to the God of heaven, for his steadfast love endures forever. So, do you think this psalm has a theme? Do you think the psalmist is trying to tell us something this morning? Oh, give thanks to the Lord, for his steadfast love endures forever. I love that phrase is repeated over and over and over again. His steadfast love endures forever. I love that constant refrain. You know, it's funny in life, in church, and so many things we have rituals. And I know in the life of church, rituals can seem rote. You know, if you do the same thing over and over and over again, does that thing begin to lose its meaning? You know, you say the same thing repeatedly, does it begin to lose its impact? If you pray the same prayer repeatedly, does it begin to lose its impact? Do things lose their meaning when you do them repeatedly? And I can understand how that would happen. I could understand how when you do something repeatedly that it could lose its sense of impact. But I also tend to take it another way and think about it in another way, that when you do something repeatedly, when you say the same things over and over again, when you have a ritual and a regularity and a formation, I think what you find isn't that things lose their impact, at least to me. But the more we say them, the more we believe them. The more we say them, the more they become true. The more we say them, the more we hold them close to our heart. The more we say them, the more they ring true in us. And truth is truth, and we must repeat truth to ourselves. Because if we do not repeat truth to ourselves, we will be tempted to forget truth. So I love how this psalm over and over and over and over again says, the steadfast love of the Lord endures forever. The psalmist wants us to know that. And over again, it repeats examples of how the steadfast love of the Lord has endured forever throughout the history of Israel, throughout their life together, throughout their covenant, throughout their story. And then over and over again, you see God's steadfast love remaining. And then you see it ending with, we were once in low estate, but his steadfast love endured forever. So his steadfast love was not just there when there were moments of victory and moments of praise and moments of goodness, but his steadfast love endured forever, even in the difficult days when they were low. This passage is repeated over and over and over again, because the psalmist wanted us to know that God's steadfast love endures forever, no matter what. So repeat that to yourself today. Remember that God's steadfast love endures forever. And today, as you're hanging out with family, as you're watching football, as you're eating too much turkey, as you're going back for your third time through the dressing, or if you're like me, your 15th time to the deviled eggs, because I love me a deviled egg, let me tell you. You know, you've seen that meme in life. The devil whispered in my ears that I wasn't ready for the storm. And I whispered back in his, I love your eggs. So as you're going back for your another round of food and your more time with friends and family, no matter where you find yourself today, remember this truth that the psalmist is repeating to us over and over and over again, that the steadfast love of the Lord endures forever, that God's love remains, that God's love is true, and that God's love never leaves. And I think that's why he repeats it repeatedly, because he wants us to get it through our thick skulls that he doesn't leave us. So today, repeat that to yourself. And by the way, friends, repeat this truth to yourself when you least feel it. When you least feel God's love. When you least feel like you have something to be thankful for. When you least feel his power and his presence, repeat this to yourself. That's why we repeat truth, y'all. That's why we hold on to truth. That's why we repeat it to ourselves, because there's going to come a time when we don't feel it. We repeat truth to ourselves because it's true whether we feel it or not. His steadfast love endures forever. So today, on this day of thanks, we have much to be thankful for. And primary among this is that we give thanks to the Lord for his steadfast love endures forever. You're loved today, no matter what. Happy Thanksgiving. Hope it's a great day. Join us tomorrow as we wrap up our week of Thanksgiving in the Psalms with Psalm number 150. Have a great Thanksgiving day. See you in the morning.